Hey guys, MC Fix It here. We have some Magellan tred-lite TRKRX waders. These are really good waders. They're really lightweight, but I have experienced some issues with leaking up under the boot, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I like to fix that. I use one thing, and it's the Loctite vinyl fabric and plastic with flexible adhesive. I do like to let it sit for at least a day. I know the back of it may say something different, but let it sit for a day. Let it properly seal, and it actually works really, really well. And so I'm going to show you through exactly what I do. I also put on some gloves just to make sure I don't get this all over my hands. So let me show you step by step how we do this. And this should work other places, but this is the location that I have a leak. These are used waders, but they're in really good shape. I got them for pretty cheap online, so not too bad. But the waders, you can kind of pull this band up, and where it leaks is right around this edge here where you have the rubber meeting this. And so we're going to do both boots, so I'm going to go ahead and get the second one up as well. And just over time, I'm not as good as I should be with these. I should let these things air out upside down, like in a cool place. Typically, they just go in the back of my truck or my van, and they sit out in the 100-degree heat. And so water just slowly goes down in there. I might also seal this line as well, just to make sure that's a good seal, because sometimes these can also come up. So since I'm in here, and I have a whole bottle, it's brand new, let's just go ahead and make it work. Go ahead and peel, and pretty easy. You just take this cap. I try not to puncture it too much. I actually just like a little puncture, but it is hard to do, so normally you just get what you get. And I'm going to first start with this seal here and see if I can just get underneath this. And it comes out really quick, which is okay. This is the other reason I like to use gloves, because I just get my hand right in there and make things happen. And then I'll also, while I'm right here, I'll go ahead and hit this line up. I like this stuff because it's fairly inexpensive and it works really well. And so then I'll just begin to turn the boot and kind of flip it over. When I'm out in the water, I don't really care what I look like. So if I get some extra glue some different places, to me that doesn't matter. I'm nasty and smelly probably anyways, so if my boots aren't perfect, that's okay. If it does run down a little, don't worry too much. It's not a fashion show, at least for me. Maybe it is for you. You can also grab some paper towels if you have them handy. Any place that is leaking, you can wipe up pretty quickly, and it's going to do a good job cleaning that up. But this stuff does dry relatively fast, and so as you're putting it on, make sure you are kind of moving it where you want it to go. And get all the way around the boot. Every spot that has a potential leak. And I do like just leave this thing out and up just like that for, like I said, about a whole day. Did not get this back corner, so I'm going to put some back in there. I'm liking how that's looking, so we'll move on to the next boot and do the same thing. Go ahead and roll this if you didn't get it all the way up. That back quadrant is a little harder to get. So if you hear a beeping noise, my neighbor's got a hoverboard that isn't actually a hoverboard from when I grew up, but is one of those little wheelie things that they call a hoverboard, and it beeps all the time when he goes by, so sorry about that. Nothing I can do about that because it's hot today, so I'm not shutting the garage door. Got the ceiling fan on in the garage, making things happen today. So if you didn't have gloves on, this is going to be a nasty sticky mess. If you do have gloves on, it goes relatively quick, and you just throw the gloves off when you're done, which is why I like gloves. And if you do get a little booger snot fall down, you can wipe it off. It's not the end of the world. And I go pretty generous with this. I like it to be a good seal, and it's flexible, so it will bend as you need it to in the water and kind of just take care of business. But over time, especially with heat, humidity, and this thing will eat through gloves sometimes too. So it's not going to be a perfect clean job, but it'll be pretty close. Then you just let those things sit for 24 hours. I'll come back and show you what they look like after they've sat for 24 hours. And I saw a little spot I didn't really get well. And go ahead and put the cap back on. You may be able to reuse the rest of this tube on another project sometime soon. And so save it, use it. You paid for it, so I paid for it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let that sit for 24 hours, and I'll be back in 24 hours to show you what it looks like. It'll just be a few seconds from now for you. So these boots have now sat for 24 hours with the waders, and looks like it did pretty good all the way around. You can see some spots I'm just going to have to gently peel up. Some of the glue did kind of, but that's a good thing. Did kind of stick pretty good. But yeah, that seal looks so much better than it did before. Same thing with this one. I'll probably have to peel this up just a bit, but you can definitely see that it has done its job exactly what we've wanted to do. It's got a new nice bead all the way around. So we'll go ahead and put the edge of the waders back on both sides of the boots, and hopefully this gives me at least another season or two without having to redo this. You can do this multiple times if you need to. One thing I would recommend, if you are going to do it multiple times, sometimes you are probably going to have to rip off some of the old glue and re-glue it back down. But overall, it should work pretty well. You can also do this on seams. So if you had a seam like even right here, let's just say this is what was leaking, I would do it on the inside and outside. Again, I don't care if my waders look perfect. I'm not looking to be pretty when I'm going out in the water, but I do want to make sure that they keep me waterproof. So if this was helpful, please like and subscribe. Comment if you do have any questions. Thank you guys so much for watching today.